Thank you for your interest in the RecycloCraftz ministry and learning about what life is like for a woman in Zambia. The original document from which this presentation was made was written for an AIDS Day breakfast in Zambia. The photographs were taken by founder Tracy Murray during her time in Zambia. If I were a girl child born in Zambia, my birth would be welcomed, but not as much as if I were a boy. My mother's health would be further compromised by the pregnancy and delivery. Already undernourished herself, she would nurse me for as long as possible. Soon I would be one more mouth to feed in a family without enough. If I lived to become a girl in Zambia, I might go to school for a few years. But my family would struggle to pay for my books and uniforms. I might have to walk miles to get to my school. I would be hungry many days, making it hard to concentrate. I would be told that girls don't really need to go to school. If I became an adolescent girl in Zambia, I would now take care of my younger brothers and sisters, even if it meant not going to school. I would help cook and clean for the family. Sometimes I would hear about a friend being sent to live with an uncle, so she would no longer be a burden to the family. If I became a young lady in Zambia, school would be considered a luxury. My family couldn't pay the school fees, and the closest secondary school would be many miles from my home. If I wanted to go to school, I could find an older man to pay my fees, but he would expect much of me in return. If I were a young adult in Zambia, many of my friends would get pregnant, drop out of school, and some would get infected with HIV. If I were a woman in Zambia and a man asked to marry me, my family would rejoice because I would have fulfilled my birth roles. Before my marriage, I would go through an initiation ceremony where I would be reminded that my primary responsibility is to please and satisfy my husband in all aspects, and that a well-groomed wife is one who is submissive and obedient. I was told that if my husband becomes unhappy, it's because I have not satisfied him. My family would send me to his house with a broom, a pot, and a chitangi cloth tied around my waist to symbolize that he is the head of the house, and I am expected to cook and clean and care for the children. If I were a married woman in Zambia, my husband could meet me and I would believe that I deserved it. Even if he hurt me badly, I would be ashamed to tell my family because they would blame me. I would be afraid to tell the police because if they arrested my husband, on whom my children and I depended for material support, it would mean untold suffering for my family. It would also mean that I am stigmatized and blamed by society. If I made it to my marriage as an HIV-negative virgin, cultural norms would prohibit me from negotiating safe sex with my husband, even if I was in a high-risk marriage. If he had other girlfriends, I would look the other way. Without an education, I would struggle to find work while caring for the children and trying to keep my husband happy. As a woman in Zambia, I want more for my daughters. I think so.